Hey, welcome everyone to the LIBERcast episode 147. I want to thank everyone to join up, and sharing their precious time with me tonight. Thank you so much for your time and encouragement in these dark days. Um, this is a crucial moment to talk about spirituality and what it means to get involved into it and what it means and the meaning for individual and for the community. And I think it's crucial that these conversation becomes more and more and more frequent, and having a discussion together about it. And it's a beautiful uh, subject that we need to get into as supposedly spiritual people or illuminated people, new agers, or things like that. That it makes it very difficult to use discernment, as I was mentioning with Justin earlier. And yeah, here we go. Welcome the guest.
Hey, hi Fred,
Welcome, man.
thanks.
Welcome.
Appreciate it. Yes. Good to be
Yeah.
here.
So
Thanks for the invite.
don't mind my awkward French. I'm still searching for my words there. Um, I'm working on it. It becomes better with the time, for sure. So
Yeah,
thank you for
no.
being there.
Yeah.
Thank you for being there and sharing your time with me. Um, it's I get really involved with this kind of conversation lately, and with different people and where I work, things like that. And it's fascinating, all this variety of perceptions and things like that. So before we're starting, uh, please, Justin, just tell us about you and where we can find your work. I have your information there. So here we go.
Yeah, well, thanks. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm Dustin Plattner. And so my training, my official academic training is in clinical psychology. I finished my master's and doctorate in that, and I have a clinical practice. Um, in that process, towards maybe the last maybe 6 years, also been moving more into understanding how this world works in terms of pulling in nature and how to understand nature to help us grow internally and then also expand ourselves spiritually. And so that's been really a blessing in my work for me to really learn this information and get it out there. And realizing that a lot of this ties into our psychology and spirituality ties into our psychology. And so I've had some other projects, Free as Above, that XYZ is the other project I work on, of teaching objective morality, esoteric sciences, and helping with my ability and what I've learned, blending all that together to really give folks something to grab onto so they can launch forward in their, yeah, there's my website, so they can launch forward in their spiritual journey. And so I have sort of these two energies that I really work with to try to the best I can do to help forward, because these things have been so phenomenal in my own life. And so this is some of my work that I do, and that's some of the interviews. And then I have this
Hmm.
vlog series that I've been doing about getting ourselves off the base floor and moving forward on basically the spiritual tree of life.
So what got you into spirituality? What was the key factor for it?
Yeah, good question. I was always sort of a libertarian for a while, but
Hmm.
then, during the whole COVID's issue that happened those years ago, really Mark Passio's work, understanding his work and getting involved in that, and then reading the supplemental material and getting in and reading his arc drive, and really gathering a whole bunch of knowledge through the years that really had my Kundalini awakening of knowledge and uh, spiritually stepping into what was built inside of me. And knowing that really these ancient mystery traditions have talked a lot about nature and what what this realm actually is and how it helps us move into love rather than fear. And in knowing all this with my psychological background, it really just wow, it really married well together. And it really helped me um, take the blinders off my eyes and move into a space where I can really be self-confident and true to myself while helping people navigate that space as well. So, yeah, it was really a lot of just knowledge which helped expand my spirituality.
So do you is it was it a was it coming from curiosity, or what brought you there? What
Y-
it was there searching for meaning, or is it, how do you see that? How do you see spirituality?
Yeah, good question. Um, Doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do,
Hmm.
that's spirituality.
Yeah.
And that has what's l that energy led me to realizing that truth, and, um, realizing how the government back then could have so much overreach so quickly.
Yeah.
That angered me, and the divine masculine in me stepped up and said, "What is going on? What is happening
Hmm.
here?" And then I just needed to get all the information I could about this, how this has happened, um, what this means, and then what are the roots underneath it that are making this happen, and then understanding occultism, and then the light occult versus dark occult, and then
Yeah.
realizing the spider web that the dark occult have created that move humanity at their whim, which perpetuates more evil and keeps humanity as cowards of not standing up.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, um,
I mean,
so then, oh, go ahead.
do you have roots? I mean, where is it only Mark Passios, or you have other background, in in
That's
other
a really
spiritual practices?
yeah. So I grew up evangelical Christian. That was sort
Mm,
of that upbringing that I had, and the ideology of Christianity does have some really decent roots of things. The overall ideology, though, which is deceptive, which I talk about at free in my free as above work, is it says that you have to have an intercessor, an intermediary in which to get to God.
mhm,
And that it has this push of a sort of a stand down technique that someone's coming to save us, therefore we don't have to do anything. They will get it. They'll be persecuted. That piece. And it just continually makes us stand down while there's so much evil happening at the push of these dedicated people who understand occultism and use it in a dark way. And that's the root of actually what's taking place, but it's so hard for people to understand that because it's just so foreign to them, because religions and ideologies not based in proper philosophy and nature, they don't have that foundation in which to even step up to realize these pieces.
so
So, yes,
I
I
have a
had
question.
uh-huh.
um So, do you are you involved in shadow working?
Yeah, yes, I think any student who understands, who goes into and studies occultism, you
Hmm.
have to move into the state of self-responsibility. And the beauty of psychology is that it also has that energy with it too,
Hmm.
where my training, the goodness of in my training, my academic training is every school that I went to required you to be in your own therapy. And
Hmm.
I took that on. And then in my postdoctoral work, learning more about psychoanalytic work, and psychoanalytic work with children and things of that nature, I then went into further psychoanalysis 4 times a week, therapy for years that I would undergo to work on myself. So, with that background, then plus understanding esoteric sciences, occultism, the mystery traditions, that
Yeah.
whole branch of schools of thinking and philosophy and understanding nature, they also emphasize, right? As you know, you can't become spiritual and enter into the world without first recognizing, looking at yourself and not and stop lying to yourself. And as Passio does say, and I think rightfully so, you have to be in a position of saying, I was wrong. And I had to say that for uh, sort of that past self that I was in, that caught up in the ideology of Christianity or any religion. They do have some roots in something that's good, but the overall concept, it leaves evil moving forward, and that's what I take
Yeah.
issue with.
So, I'm very curious. What are the tenets of you, the work you're doing? What is your involvement with people? What do you bring to them?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I still work with in my private practice, and I work everything under a private membership association, a private agreement. So I try to keep it in the private, away from the state, and setting up that way. Um, and so that's what I do. So I help families, I help children navigate spaces of psychological issues, clinical issues. I help them work with that. And then the other love that I do is sharing spirituality and the concept of these mystery traditions, and aligning one with nature and understanding what nature offers us to help us grow. And so I offer that in a video series, and video, um, sort of long format video on freeasabove.xyz. So there you'll get some of that. That's more of that content creator sort of position that I do. So I do those two things into the realm of psychology and spirituality. Those are the two, yeah, branches and how I do that.
So yeah, this is very interesting. I myself want to get involved more in the community. I'm looking for going back to school and getting really involved into it. For me, it's about freedom.
Correct.
Spirituality for me is about freedom.
Correct.
So I mean, this is a I this is like bubbles, you know. You have the bubbles of your family, and then you have yourself in the
Uh-huh.
shadow work, and then you have the world with which you interact, every day.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
I treat them separately, but they're
Yes.
still in the circle. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. Uh-huh.
So
There's mhm.
shadow work is for me, and it's only my opinion there. Okay, so I mean, for me, it's about freedom.
Uh-huh.
Still, it's about being in peace with this part of yourself, not
Mhm.
always beautiful, not always happy and go lucky. There's many dark corners.
Uh-huh.
So I think that my spiritual part there is more of a self exploration,
Yes.
introspection,
I
because
like that.
yeah, and I mean, for myself, my passion is the psychological thing, the shadow
Yes,
working and introspection, and aligning that with natural law, and
correct.
morality and things like that. So we're working at least a little bit on the same page there. We're working together on putting this message out. But
Mm,
I would like to say to people that we have to get involved right now. This is I'm taking a pause there from interviewing you and saying to people to get involved. It's not hard, you know. Just compromising a little bit of your time and putting it at the good place, you know. And it means getting the knowledge, you know, knowledge about yourself, knowledge about the world around you, how does it works, why, and things, and all these questions that are all important. So don't wait, just do something now. And if the people wants to, contact me, my name is there. You have Dustin there, just on the side. If you have this fire inside of you, I encourage all people to don't believe us, just go explore,
mhm,
and join us in the fight, because this is a spiritual war, whether we like it or not. It's about influence. It's not
mhm,
about money.
mhm.
So, um, um, do you deal a lot with? Are you using the principle of correspondence to do your work?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the principle of correspondence is, as above, so below, or as
Yeah.
within, so without, right? And this is so crucial to understand this aspect of nature, of what the realm that we're in. Um, and as you were saying, understanding nature gives us freedom.
Yes.
And I agree, this is what it's all about. Yes, it's about freedom. And the suffering that goes on because human action tries to steal from people, and that causes suffering. And then if we understand nature and how nature works, that brings freedom. And part of that, going back, one law of nature is the law of correspondence. So, as within us is so without. So, if we have shadow work that has not been worked on, shadow work is a long term process. It doesn't just, it's not one and done. It's a long term process that's like layers of onions. So, if there's stuff going on inside of us, traumas, or our our thoughts and our actions are not aligned with natural law, that's going to produce chaos inside of us. Therefore, we're going to see chaos around us. That's how that works. And and so part of a spiritual healing of this world, where there's suffering gets reduced and freedom increases, that means it has to start with us individually, looking in at where are your traumas at, and where are you not aligning to natural law. And I don't know if your audience, I imagine it does. Passio did such a great job of highlighting stealing. Don't steal.
Oh, yes.
And he did such a great job of breaking it down. And this is just simple logic, and it can be run through any philosophical filter and it comes out clean. You don't have to, I call it an a priori synthetic proposition. That is a way where you can look at something. You do not have to test it through empirical means. You can just think about it and it's true. Therefore, logically, it is true. That's a process of philosophy. So, understanding that raping someone will cause suffering, you don't have to test that. Take 200 people, split one to 100, one a group, and then rape 100, then don't rape the other, and then see what causes suffering. You don't have to do that empirical study. You just know it. So, therefore, it is true. So, the 7 properties that are stolen from us, that causes suffering, right? And so going back to the internal process, if you are taking actions in the world, or if there is something that's not aligning with those moral principles that's causing chaos. And then exemplified by your trauma, that causes more chaos. So to begin to clear the external starts with taking responsibility in the internal, hence shadow work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when you in the sense of the family, are you getting involved with all family, the kids, the mother, father? How does it works?
Yeah,
When
yeah,
you're doing your work, how
yes.
does it how does it go?
Yeah, good question. Some, I mean, in the field of psychology and how people will practice psychology after they're trained, you can have different flavors. Some people do family therapy where they meet with just a family and they treat the family as a unit, and that can be very helpful. Some do parenting work only, and that can be very helpful. And then some work with the children only. Um, I found it to be best in my practice over the years is when I work with the children, I also have to connect with the parents because it's a family unit.
Mm-hmm.
So typically, we'll have a designated time for the child, and then we'll create another time during the month where I meet with the parents initially to start building that, here's what, let me know what's happening. How does this environment work? And then over time, as as the child keeps growing, I might need less contact with the parents, but it's very involved to keep the parents connected right at the beginning. And so that's how I usually break it down.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I find a lot of help in just simply parenting work. I also have a website called Natural Law Parenting, and it's a process where it's a group where I hold it as a group of parents coming together, and we do it as a process group. And I explain the concept of basically the golden rule in my website, right? The golden rule of how to embody that as a parent and in the family unit, and then how to, I mean, sort of teach it practically to your child, yes, but also what does that mean to build a sense of morality in your child? As we just talked about, suffering happens because we steal from people. And so, if we can raise children to move into a state of understanding what morality actually is, which is aligned with nature, which is true, the a priori synthetic proposition, like I talked about, these are all true statements that are in nature. And if we can align families and worldviews in families this way, this will begin to start changing the world around.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think in the family unit, working with parents is very important, and that's also where I felt my work pull in the recent years that way.
Mm-hmm. I I uh, I uh, I tend to raise my children with experiences. Means that I when it comes to natural law and things like that, I try to show them in examples,
Uh-huh.
you know,
Uh-huh.
so they can see it's tangible, you
Yeah,
know.
no, yeah, I think that's really good, and I think even the beauty of just understanding natural law, um, that it's so practical, and
Yeah.
everyone knows it just instinctually, right? You don't hurt someone's body. This is what they teach us in kindergarten, right? You leave your hands to yourself. You don't steal from somebody. You don't lie, right? These are just basic things, and that's natural law. Don't murder someone, don't assault, don't rape them, don't steal their property, don't, if they have their space, don't invade their space, that's trespass. Don't force them to do something, that's their free will. And then don't lie to them, take away their free will decision, right?
Yes. That's
It's
that's an important subject.
yes. And it's so simple, right? It's just so simple. And if we can just think about it, that's what causes the suffering on the planet. Those things are stolen from us by the actions of all of us around us.
Yeah, I think I think natural law as such as information are life changing when you really sit down and really understand, and reading and try to put it in your life.
Yes.
It changed everything for me. Not
Hmm.
only that, but it made possible all these beautiful things that I have now.
Yeah,
This
that's
life that
awesome.
I'm very grateful for what I have. And it didn't happen without the work.
Correct.
I changed a lot. I became um self-conscious.
Yes, I agree. That's happened to me too. Agreed.
Yes, and through shadow work, it's it's um it's something. It's a fight that, it like you said earlier, it's not done next week.
Yes.
It's always, we're not perfect, nobody is perfect. This
Correct.
is something, this
Yeah.
is what we need to get in our brains, as humans. Try people trying to get to perfection. It's an illusion. So parenting for me it's something sacred, as much
Uh,
as spirituality. This is a creation,
mm,
and we are responsible for what they get feed within their brain and their body, and emotionally and spirituality. And this is our task. This is our work, to bring them conscious to adulthood, so they can take good decisions, have a good judgment, a good discernment,
correct.
when it
Yes.
comes to deceptions. And I think everyone is getting deceived one day or another. and,
Yes.
and so we cannot give them the experience. They're gonna have to experience them. There's things. And for me, children, they must be treated as sovereign individual, with respect and
Hmm.
understanding and empathy. But you need to guide them. This is
Yes.
not always easy. Children are they're acting crazy sometimes, tantrums and
Yes.
things like that. But this is only a small part of it,
Hmm.
all the happiness and the flourishing of being with these beautiful beings. They're gentle, they're respectful, because
Hmm.
we're teaching them.
Hmm. Hmm.
We're homeschooling the children. My wife is actually more than me, but we're
That's beautiful.
taking responsibility
Yes.
for that. So this is a crucial, important spot there. This is how do how much do you care?
Yes.
Because time, you cannot get it back. When it's done, it's done. The day is done.
Done.
You're never gonna get it again. So how do you live in the now? How do you care about this well-being, this joy, these even the sad parts, even the
Okay.
grief, even anger. They're all beautiful things that, if we didn't have to live them, we wouldn't have them, but we have them. And we're treating it like a disease. It's not.
Correct.
The neurotism, this is what we're fighting against. We're fighting against ignorance, crass ignorance. And we have all these children that are suffering the most important, the most fundamental humans on earth are the children. They must be treated with respect and non-violence.
Correct.
So this is why I got to you two through correspondence.
Yes.
This is what we're fighting against. We're fighting against influence,
Mm-hmm.
because these problems are in every stratas of society, not only
Yes.
the poor but the rich and the middle in them. And this is a steep climb to the
Well,
summit, and we every action, every smile, every conversation, every help that you provide, these are important, crucial things.
mm-hmm.
I repeat it because crucial is we need that,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So I this is why I'm going through this shadow work thing. I have a presentation coming.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna doing both English and French.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's gonna
Impressive.
be, yeah, no, I have, it's not that impressive, man. It's because I can. It's
Yes.
because it's how much I care.
That's right. Yes.
It's not a no fucking hard work.
Yes.
I'm taking the time to do it. I still have my beautiful family to take care. I barely have time to do the
Yeah. I
liver
mean, that's,
test. No,
yeah,
life
that's
is
like,
going too fast, man.
yes.
um yeah,
Yeah.
and do you
It's amazing. Yes.
yeah, do you have other projects that are coming? Do you have other stuff?
Yeah, so usually, so right now, what I'm working on is I'm really focused on my vlog series on Free as Above. I really enjoy that, so that's what I've been working on, and it def it helps because any in stage of initiation in the mystery schools or an occultism, um, we all start on the base floor. We're all there, and we don't have the tools, the spiritual tools given to us really to help us organize to step forward. In general, we don't have them. And so I call the dark occult psychopathic entrepreneurs. They know that there's an issue that we're born without any sort of spiritual vision. They have it, they study it, and they use it for dark purposes to keep control. So there's a market for them. And if we don't take the responsibility to grow, we will buy their product. And that product is pervasive. And that product attacks our children, as you were saying. It's all over. They're very good at what they do. So, my energy right now in that series is to help people understand how to get off the base floor, what that base floor actually is, what it looks like, and then what the mystery traditions are telling us on how to take the steps to move up the tree of life, to move up so we can ascend in our spirituality, and that's where our power lies. And if we stay on the base floor, we're going to buy their product over and over and over. And then our children are going to buy their product over and over and over. And then we're going to continue to move in a really dystopian awfulness. We're already there, and it'll just keep getting worse. It won't get better. It'll keep getting worse. So we have to, as you were saying, your care and your will to push the material out. That's what we all have to take on. So I respect you for doing that, Fred. And I respect everyone in the One Great Work that's doing it, all the ones that are pushing this information forward, because we have to get there. The information of don't steal from people. Understand what nature is telling us. Work on yourself so you can grow and help the generation move forward. That is what we're working on. So that is my work. That's what I'm putting out now, along with my practice, what I'm doing, and then adding that in there. I also, it's another hard left, but it's sort of in the same category. I do a computer system for people who want to be digitally sovereign. And so I'm a computer guy too. So I know it's a strange sort of mix, but I do that as well. So that's another project I work on. But whatever it is, it's always my energy, what's brought freedom to me. I want to then share it and push it out. And so that's sort of been my life mission now, is to give that out there. And so as you asked about the project, that's where my mind went, to sort of fill that in for you. Yeah.
Yeah, between you and me, I think this is the part there. It's to keep on getting active. Moving on the checker floor.
Yes.
I mean, there's so much stuff, so much stuff to cover, and I seriously, man, I need to tell you, man. I'm a French guy. I live in Quebec, and it's very, very tedious to find someone who's spiritually, you know, um, align.
Yes.
I I know a lot of folks there who are in there. They know the stuff and things like that, but not meeting other people like
Yes.
that. It's like one in a thousand. One
Yes.
in it's scary, because we should be fucking thousands and millions. You know,
Mhm.
I mean, this is the message there. It's about freedom. The golden
Yes.
rule.
Yes. The
It's the
golden rule of
golden
freedom.
rule. You know,
I mean, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful message. I mean, it just is beautiful. And yeah, you're right. Yeah.
just because we are lefting aside all the entertainment aspect, I don't care about that. I don't care about the political stances. I don't care about what is happening in the culture, but only the important stuff. I
Yeah.
the
For the
all the
surface.
colorful and the boring music and things like that. I don't get in that. I
Yes.
These are, for me, they're programs.
Yes.
I don't want to get involved in that. And this is where it's a kind of how do you, when you're talking to people about spiritual, what are the first thing that you mention? What is one of the first subject that you bring up to the people you're talking, when you're talking in your groups and things like
Mhm.
that? What are you only um are you talking about natural law, or healing, or things like that? How does it goes there?
Yeah, that's a good question. Um, my training in clinical psychology, and being the best therapist I can be for them, it's a space of allowing them to be them. I don't do much leading. Overall, I don't really do that much. I'm interested in hearing their story, right? And how I can blend these topics into my space with them. One of the biggest things that can arch us forward into spirituality is our imagination.
Sure.
That is where our power lies. As the law of mentalism, everything starts in the mind. So as I'm with people and I'm hearing their story and connecting with them at the beginning, if it's someone new, and we're taking our time together, I want to hear um, how their mind is going, their pain. Um, I want to hear what they want to work on. And I'm listening for a sense of where does their power lie? And I'm looking and I'm hearing to help them navigate the space, because the truth is, as they move forward, the truth is their psychological health
Hmm.
becomes higher when they realize the truth that they're powerful, that they can create with their mind, and then that they understand deeply that the actions I take bring goodness into the world, and the actions that I avoid because they harm don't bring goodness. And as they over time develop that framework, along with exploration of their, the trauma, the dark parts of them, of they think of themselves or things
Yeah.
that they've done, whatever it might be, as all that begins to integrate. And I'm listening to them. I'm going on the journey with them. And I'm there with them. There's that relational component.
Yeah.
Those mechanics, that emotional, psychological phenomenon pushes them towards psychological health. But yes, at the beginning, I'm looking for, in the spiritual lens, where's their power, and how do they think about their imagination?
And yeah, that's fascinating. I like psychology.
Mhm.
You know, I'm a people are telling me that I'm silent, and
Mhm.
I like hearing people talking. You know how they move.
Mhm.
You know their body language and things like that,
Exactly.
and it's very revealing. You know, even
Yes.
for ourselves. You know, we
Exactly.
caught ourselves. You know, doing these move, and it's an important thing. You know that people know about it. You know, not only the clinical aspect, but the philosophy
Mhm. Mhm.
and these like occult philosophy and things like that. I tend to not use the term um occult because it still scares people.
Sure.
um
Yep.
Even if I explain them that doesn't mean what they think, you know.
Yes.
But I'm fascinated by the relationship of people, that what the relationship they have with themselves and other people, and the
Exactly.
principle of correspondence. And I think it's not a coincidence that it's the second one,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
because it's a very, very important point. You know, projection, you know, mirroring, you know,
Mhm.
validation, things like denial, you know, denial of the self, you know, things
Mhm.
like that. They're very, very dangerous and toxic, you know, demises for the people who are victim of it. You
Yes,
know, this is
correct.
a mindset, sadly. You know, it's not like it's not healable. You cannot heal it. It's you can change your mind, you know.
Mhm.
And it's always a part of choice. You know, it's always a matter of choice. And this is what we, for my side there, I'm using um more streetwise stuff. I tend to stay rooted, you know, in reality, and showing by experience to the
Yes.
people, because this is the only uh, real thing that I can share is my experience.
Yes.
And you know, my opinions, I don't want people to believe me or think I'm a guru or something like that. I'm average guy, you know, father, and I just want to do the right thing. And this is
Correct.
what we should fucking all do. It's been being
Yeah.
being respectful,
Correct.
being having empathy and
Correct.
understanding, because this is the root of that. You know, if you cannot give that to yourself, it's impossible you cannot give it to another one.
Yes.
This is where the dissonance is. at my humble opinion, this
Yeah,
is
no. Uh-huh.
this is cognitive dissonance at its best. You know,
Yes. Yes.
I
There.
I do you what if what is your first what if someone wants to be better?
Uh-huh.
What what will be your first, your first thing?
Uh-huh.
If the
Yeah.
first thing that that people must concentrate, is it diet? Is it emotional, thing? Is
Uh,
it habits? What how do you see that? If the people wants to be better, what would
yes.
you tell them?
Your self-loathing, your self-hatred, you have to work on that. That's some of my work too with my long form. I did the Funnel 4 conference last year. Funnel 5 is going actually tomorrow, but in my presentation on the Funnel 4, Freedom Under Natural Law conference, um, I talked about self-loathing and narcissistic woundedness.
Hmm.
And we need from our parents, we need mirroring, as you were talking about. We need that mirroring to help build our sense of self, to have a strong sense of self, a balanced sense of self. If we don't get that, we get wounded. We don't get the narcissistic mirroring that we need. And that ends up being a narcissistic wound, which is then turning into self-hatred, which is the self-loathing. Because if we didn't get from mom and dad when we're little, we view the world as, I need mom and dad. I need the world. And if they're upset with me, if they're not giving me what I need, that means there's something wrong with me. Because we as little children and in our minds, we cannot eradicate the parent. That means we wouldn't survive. So the only way we can survive is to make ourselves bad. That preserves the parent image. And so if we don't get what we need, even though it's not our fault, we will turn it into our fault that there's something wrong with us. That's that wounded narcissisticness that happens. So it's not really the ego that's the problem. It's the wounded ego or the narcissistic woundedness that's in us. So if we don't get that, what we need from our parents over and over, emotionally, it can be on a range from a good enough parents, because no perfect parent, good enough parenting will help us develop quite normally. If it gets worse and worse and worse, though, parents that are, we could list a number of things, either substance abusing or distant emotionally or depressive or whatever it might be, work too much or not there, that starts laying these woundednesses, these wounds in us. So we end up building that up. And then as we get older, it's these narcissistic wounds, which is the self-loathing, a core of psychopathology or getting stuck in this life is because of what happened when we were younger. Not all of it, but I would say most of it comes from there. And for someone to move forward, if they're stuck, you have to, I had to, I continue to, you have to look at your self-hatred, the law of correspondence. And
So
as you,
this is this would be the first thing that you would tell to people, that they're self-loathing.
now, it wouldn't be in my clinical practice, obviously,
Hmm.
but if someone comes to me in a spiritual and they're like, I want to work through some things and I'm stuck here, if they came to me, I would say, okay, that's really great. But your journey will begin to look at what's going on with your self-hatred. Look inside, because that's going to be the beginning of this journey for you. I would
Yeah.
say that. Now, as you talked about different bubbles, now the bubble of my clinical practice, right? That's a different approach.
Hmm.
I'm here to listen, and I will look at their self-loathing over time with them, right?
Yeah.
But if someone's to come direct to me, that's a huge piece in understanding the concepts. And even if I explain that to some of my patients over time about how Yeah, that woundedness from what you didn't get from mom or dad or grandma or whatever your caregiver was, that's being a big impact right now. And then seeing how it ties into their own personal narrative, right? But yes, I think that captures a lot of the root of people's stuckness, the self-loathing concept.
I think one of the first thing that I realized before in years ago when I started doing the shadow working is this freaking voice. You know, you know what I'm talking about. These this voice that's telling you on you cannot do it. Don't
Yeah,
try it. It's
that's the self-loathing.
internal dialogue. And
Uh-huh.
I and for the people who don't know what it is, I mean this is a this is a um recalcitrant.
Yes,
Yeah, it keeps on coming back. You cannot get
correct.
rid of this. It's part of your culture, your conditioning. you know
Yes.
and but you can control it. There's people who always live with these voices, amplified in their head, and this is not who they really are, and this is where shadow working and
Yes.
introspection is. You're not what you think you are. You're
Correct.
something more beautiful,
Yes.
and a creator with imagination. And this is where we have to get back to the roots. What's the
Mhm.
difference between force and violence? What is morality? What is right and wrong? Because if people don't know it, then they cannot put it then in their life and their understanding.
Yep.
And you have all the trivium stuff that's connected to that. you know
Mhm.
Je vais-
Yeah.
I think there's a question from Crip Rick.
Oh, yeah,
Dustin,
yeah, yeah.
Dustin, do you think social media is playing into encouraging people's self-loathing?
Oh, yeah, right, yeah, 100%, right on. Yeah, that's very, very challenging, and, social media is sort of morphing a bit now, but definitely at the beginning, right? We would only post the good things that are happening and the nice pictures and all that goodness. So it would just be this constant um, falseness, a one-sidedness of life. And we as humans, we go towards not being in discomfort. We go towards the shiny, the aesthetic to help us feel better. That's what we naturally do. So social media plays right into that. And with when I work with children and teenagers in my practice, really helping them navigate that space because I've actually had um, just going through therapy, some of my patients, um, teenage patients, they said, yeah, I just wanted to get off it for a while, and they have, and they say, I just feel great after. I feel a lot better after I do it. And that just goes to show that it's just that constant dopamine. As we all know now, it's that dopamine hit. So of course that plays into the self-loathing. And what you were saying, Fred, it's by your will, really, they're like, oh, you can't do it, or it's not going to work out. By your will, you have to say that's false. Sometimes you just have to say it out loud. That's false. No, that is not the truth. I will make it happen. I'm scared, but I will make it happen. It's a reparenting of that process.
Oh
Um,
yes. Oh yeah.
and I wanted to mention too that in Kabbalah in Kabbalah, the idea of the light versus Satan, and in that mystery tradition, how there's two voices that play off in our mind that we get downloaded into in that order. That's how they think about these things. And it's that same piece. The light is always giving. It can never not give. It always gives. And Satan is the one that's the adversarial force, right? Um, so in the social media, anything that sort of like pins at that and heightens that dopamine to so we can sort of the illusion of getting rid of our self-loathing. It's an illusion, and it gets us in a cycle, definitely.
Oh yes, I agree.
Hopefully that was helpful. Yeah.
I mean, there's so much worthless, useless stuff there. First of all, like we mentioned earlier, Dustin, about communication.
Yeah.
Communication is it's all fucked up.
Yeah.
It's all messed up because
Yeah.
people are like distant. They're sitting aside each other, and they're
Yes.
they're they're communicating through our phones. You know,
Yes.
children that are stuck on their iPads, and they don't have any social, interaction,
Mhm.
so they cannot learn how to behave. They stay children,
Yep.
and
I mean
th-
I mean, I get it with parents that helps calm the child down if they're at a restaurant. It makes sense. It's a very at most times, it's an easy way out. It does make sense. But you are right. There are these consequences that come with that. And if you're a parent and you're struggling with that of how they're used to their tablet, they're used to that screen time, that's a big deal. Um, and it's understandable. However, things will have to be reworked in your family to begin to start cutting that out, because you're going to need a lot more time and space to have more eye contact, more face-to-face time, more quality time, more play time. That will have to begin to be reintegrated, because children were really resilient when we're little. And if the parent is confident enough and puts enough energy, or the parenting frame puts enough energy, the child will transition. They will. Because really, what we all want when we're little is that bond and connection with our caregiver. That's what we we don't really want the screen time. We want our parent. And but yes, you're right. When I see that, it is heartbreaking. I do understand it, but it's heartbreaking. And hopefully more awakened, aware parents are moving into that direction of not giving them anything till they're like maybe 10 or 11, if that. Really just keeping the child connected relationally and in nature is really important. And another piece that popped in my head, keeping your child and having them be bored is good. Your child needs to feel
absolutely,
boredom.
absolutely, this is where the imagination kick in.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know uh how old you are, but I can remember everything. This transition from the '90s to the time we're in now. It changed so much.
Yes.
And it was very fast, and it's still going fast.
Oh, yeah, it's
Too
going yeah.
fast for me. I
Yep.
must admit that it's too fast for me for sure. Um, I I don't have the time. I don't have much time for what I would like to do, because I did make the choice of having children, but they
Yes.
are my great work.
Mhm.
They are why I'm, the people who listen to, you know, but I'm doing this work for them,
Mhm.
because I know some adults, there's nothing I can do for them.
Yeah.
There
Correct.
we have to be very selective of the people. There's some people who will tell you things, and you're gonna it's when you're talking a lot with them, they're gonna show you who they are, what kind of person they are. They're moral people. Can you talk about this information with them without them having these glossy eyes, and you lost them.
Yes.
you know it's a I know we're not alone. I know there's other people
Yes.
who are fighting, but I I would like to have more people involved, you know, and because all alone we're a handful of people actually who are doing it, and it's sad, you know, because
Yes.
for me, I understand these things. I and I'm doing it for my children. This is how I'm gonna raise them. I'm gonna teach them, you know, what the difference between force and violence. They know it, you know, they know it because experiences. I told them everything you can do that you cannot do. You know, these things, it's very simple. I explain them with simple terms and
Mm-hmm.
experience, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to put our our children there. We have to
Mm-hmm.
show them
Yes.
because for me, you know, trying to approaching adults, it's null to zero. First of all, there's pretty much, you know, a few ones, you know, but I'm not doing it like I was telling you. I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for my children and the children, the neighbors, you
Yes.
know, and my neighbors that I don't know. These people come are coming from another country. I'm not. I'm not doing it for myself for sure. So this work that we're doing is altruism. It's selflessness. At a point, we have to sacrifice. People don't like the word sacrifice,
Yeah.
but I think it's a good term
Yeah.
to put the
It's fitting.
necessary energy for the good cause, you know,
Yes. The good
the cause
cause.
of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes. 100%.
there's how how do you see how do you see the future? How do you see the next 15 years when it comes to this knowledge, when it comes to your work?
Mm. Yeah. Good. Always good questions, Fred. Yeah. Good questions. Um. Uh. Well, I've committed this to helping people with my training and
Yeah,
being there for them. And I've been doing it for 15 years now, something like that. I've been doing it for a while. So I'm committed to keep doing that. And then also, freedom creates our peace on this planet. Freedom helps us, our species, grow forward. And suffering because of human action that breaks natural law is just it doesn't fly. We need to stop that. So the energy to move forward in that is what I'm going to do. If we don't get enough energy moving that forward, it reminds me of that movie Time Machine, the 1999 version with Guy Pearce. It's quite you think it's going one way, then ends up towards the end, it ends up quite different. But it shows the concept of what it will look like on what path our species will take. It'll end in just abject, just absolute tyranny and control. Or if we push forward enough and we have that hope today to push forward enough, we can actually change it. And it would be lovely in my lifetime. I mean, I could say by our will, if we by our will, our in this lifetime, we could see tyranny fall away and we could see freedom really grow. Um, we just need to inspire more people to keep doing it. Um, and I was inspired by the people before me, and hopefully people listening can be inspired by us, hopefully, or find somebody to get inspired to make it happen, to keep going.
yeah,
But what we want is um is suffering to stop at the hands of human action. That's what we want.
yeah. And We're an hour and 6 minutes. Um, we're gonna end this there. Uh, I, I'm kind of tired, for to be
Yeah.
honest. I
Yeah, brother.
it was a beautiful day today. We had fun seeing my friend, and I just want to tell people before I'm letting you the last words there. I just want to tell people thank you so much, and thank you, Dustin, and all the
You're
guests that
welcome.
were there. Thank you so much for being there and supporting the Libercast and sharing your precious time with me. It's an honor to be with you tonight. And if you have plugs there, if you want to say something, if you have a message, you want to share your information, I'm gonna put them on the screen.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, yeah, again, very, very meaningful, Fred, for the invite, for caring to reach out to me. It's an honor. And you're very gracious, so I really appreciate it. And I appreciate your spirit of standing up and making it happen. And that's awesome. And the care for your children and the care for the world. So yeah, it's just great. Just it was really good. Yeah, so Free as Above is my esoteric website. DrDustinPlattner.com is my clinical website. I do lead a natural law parenting group as well. That's on my website or naturallawparenting.com. And just look out for my vlog series. I make them, they're 6 minutes. I try to make them pretty short, but they're sort of stepping stones to help you walk through the spiritual path to helping you grow. And what I've deducted from the mystery traditions and the esoteric sciences and giving that out, and it's been such a blessing in my life. So yeah, those are the things that I'm working on. And then you can check out my that computer movement that I do too. You can check that out. So those are all fun things, but I'm glad I could be involved in the freedom community.
So yeah, thank you so much. And for the
You're welcome.
people, if for the people who still listening to it or they will hear it later, there's a shadow work presentation that coming in the next weeks.
Yes.
I don't know exactly how many weeks, but I'm gonna try to put it out really soon. There's a lot of a lot of the PowerPoint presentation is gonna be it's gonna be big. I was it was a long time in the making, and the fact that I have to do it in the French and the English gives me a lot of work. So yeah, so keep checking in, and if you want to contact me, my name is right there. I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Odyssey. People, after tonight, it's gonna be uploaded in Odyssey, and it's all free. It's accessible. You don't have to subscribe. You can download the stuff, and share it. And thank you so much, Dustin, for
Welcome.
being there tonight. I appreciate it, man. So, people, take care and see you soon. Bye.
See you soon.